from the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour. Naira scarcity biting harder on Nigerians, small business owners cry out. Federal government says President Buhari not fighting Bola Tinubu replies Transparency International on Corruption Perception Index. Hundreds attend funeral prayer as Emir of Dutse is buried. Away from Nigeria, Somalia hosts regional summit to discuss fighting Al-Shabaab. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Beginning with the Naira crunch. Scarcity of new Naira notes is taking toll on Nigerians as point-of-sale operators hike charges to cope with the situation. Although the Central Bank of Nigeria has extended circulation of the old Naira note till February 10, Kabiru Lawal, however, reports disturbing queues at banks' automated teller machines persist.
The Central Bank of Nigeria introduced swap program to make the new notes available, but the scarcity has not abated. Point-of-sale operators in Abuja expressed displeasure over the scarcity, saying difficulty in getting the new Naira note is the reason they charge higher.
It really affects my business, even some other bills payments, like maybe when you go to a hospital to maybe pay for a treatment and maybe they said it's more than 100,000 naira.
The queue is unbearable, and even the ATM machine itself is not now dispensing, and we have a lot of people waiting to get cash. And the funny thing there is that even your ATM card has a limited amount.
I feel very bad because I've been going from ATM to ATM. As you can see, I'm from Zone 4 down to this same market here now, and I haven't seen money and there's no way for me to withdraw. So it's a very, very terrible something for me in particular. I don't know about other person, but I know other people are passing the same thing I'm passing through.
Small business owners are also affected by the scarcity, as many complain that non-availability of the new note is hampering their businesses.
We all know the state of currency right now in Nigeria now is affecting business, and not really market aren't going fine because of the difficulty in getting the new currency.
There is a little bit increment though in the pricing, you understand, but we will continue, we will buy, you understand, but if they add money, we will still buy.
Nigerians called on government to find a lasting solution to the problem to cushion the effect of suffering on those using the ATM machines.
If they are making a new currency, we should make it available, and maybe available nationwide and easily to get. Because I can see people getting into the ATM is causing a lot of difficulty to people. I actually watched a video yesterday where people were fighting at the ATM machine.
If they have to print more of this money on time, because money is what we need, is what we use as for exchange, day-to-day exchange.
This policy is killing the small business owners now. Like those people are doing POS business, they can't even actually withdraw. There's no money for them to withdraw. There's no place for them to withdraw. Assuming that there's money for them, we won't be queuing on the ATM here.
Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria has assured Nigerians that no one will lose money after the extended deadline. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, despite the extension of the deadline for the deposit of the old Naira notes, Kaduna residents are still complaining of the non-availability of the new notes at the automated teller machines, ATMs. Trust TV gathered that some commercial banks' ATMs within the Kaduna metropolis are not dispensing cash as directed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The report.
It was a sigh of relief for most Nigerians as the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) added an additional 10 days for the collection of the old Naira notes by banks. But some of the customers cited at different ATM points within the Kaduna metropolis alleged that the new Naira note are scarce because some individuals have hijacked them and want the CBN to take appropriate action against any bank that fails to comply with its directives.
Call on the federal government to do that is urgent now. They should make sure that the money, the new money, the new design money should be available And not only that, there's the mistake that I've seen. It's like the new Naira notes, that is the 100 Naira, 50 Naira, 10 Naira are not in circulation. So that's what is causing the problem.
So what is it with the government? No money, no fuel, life is horrible. True speaking, the extension date, 10th of February, we will still have problem.
Many people inside with this kind of problem again, and this is my last couple. I don't have anything. They drive my children for school because of school fees.
The extension of 10 days, I don't think it will help, because even the KK people, they are still collecting the old money. People are still collecting. So how would it help when the new currency is not in circulation? Definitely it will not help.
However, while some banks in Kaduna Metropolis have loaded their ATMs with their new notes, others are yet to comply fully. It took the intervention of the CBN for some of the banks to resume dispensing cash at their ATM.
Certainly there were appropriate penalties for banks that fail to dispense their money through the ATM, because that's the clear directive of management and the banks all know it. You recall that we've gone to one of the banks where we noticed that they did not have any money in their vaults. But in the case of this bank, we discovered that the money was actually sitting in their vaults where the ATMs were not dispensing anything and customers were loitering around.
The CBN has pledged to take decisive action against any commercial bank that fails to meet the guidelines issued to them to facilitate and ease banking transactions in Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, traders and business operators in the country are lamenting the effects of the scarcity of the new Naira notes introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria on their businesses. Our crew, who spoke with some of the traders and business operators in Lagos, brings us more in this report.
Of the pain faced by business owners owing to the scarcity of the new Naira notes. The central bank, which redesigned the 1,000, 500 and 200 Naira notes.
We apologize for the mix-up. We'll bring you the report later. Now, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Chekwas Okore, has commended the extension of the deadline for old Naira notes, saying that the Naira redesign initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria is long overdue. The APGA presidential candidate speaks exclusively to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman at the sidelines of the unveiling of his running mate and campaign director general. He says Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi is not a threat to his ambition. The report.
The Naira redesign policy of the central bank that created scarcity of banknotes has been generating mixed reactions. The APGA presidential candidate says there is nothing wrong with the currency redesign, as it is long overdue. He applauded the central bank decision to extend the deadline for the use of the old Naira notes, which he opined will reduce the hardship Nigerians go through because of the policy implementation.
It's so unfortunate that there was not enough sensitization. The issue of redesigning and changing the Naira note is a laudable thing to do. I mean, something that should have been done every 10 years. It's coming a long time.
Okore, who blamed the late take-up of his presidential campaign to the internal party crisis, dismissed the claim that emergence of Peter Obi as Labour Party presidential candidate will limit his chances at the poll.
All of the other parties put together, including the Labour Party, versus APGA, because it's going to be a referendum. If you want things to be as usual, you can vote for any of them. If you want things to change in a way of practical, possible, and realizable restructuring, we are the only ones coming with that revolutionary agenda.
A female presidential running mate to the APGA candidate Hadiza Muhammad speaks on what she can do to turn the tide in favor of a political party seen as having no influence outside the Southeast.
I'm a bulldozer, for one. The way I will mobilize our women is to let them know that we have been ruled by our own religious leaders. We've been ruled by our own ethnicity leaders, and we didn't gain anything.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, was a meshing leadership crisis leading to prolonged litigation that contributed to its inability to commence campaign in earnest. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Rivers State government on Wednesday withdrew the approval given to the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization for the use of the state-owned Adokia Emeka Stadium located at Igurita Ali in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State for its campaign rally. The campaign organization had scheduled February 11th for the Atiku presidential campaign rally in Rivers State. Governor Nyesom Wike had a couple of weeks ago given approval for the use of the stadium for the campaign, but with a condition that the stadium will only be accessed 48 hours to the time of the event. Rivers State Commissioner of Sports, Christopher Green, in a letter dated 31st of January and addressed to the Director General of the Atiku Campaign Organization and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, pointed out an alleged intelligence report which he said revealed that the Atiku Campaign Organization is collaborating with the governorship candidate of the APC, Architect Tony Cole, to accommodate and share the approved facility for the presidential campaign. The commissioner stated that given the alleged credible intelligence, the government is not ready to expose the stadium to any risk of being damaged. The state government therefore decided to withdraw the approval for the use of the stadium for Atiku presidential campaign. The Supreme Court on Wednesday nullified the nomination of Emmanuel Bwacha as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Taraba State. A 5-member panel led by Kudirat Kekere Eku delivered the judgment on Wednesday. A federal high court in Jalingo, Taraba State first sacked Bwacha as the APC's governorship candidate in September 2022 in a suit filed by David Sabo Kente, a governorship aspirant. The Supreme Court affirmed the verdict of the Federal High Court, which held that the APC did not conduct any valid governorship primary in Taraba State that produced Bwacha as governorship candidate. In a similar vein, the Supreme Court has fixed February 6 for judgment in the long-drawn legal battle over the authenticity of the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC for Yobe North Senatorial District. Entangled in the legal battle for the senatorial ticket are the incumbent Senate President Ahmed Lawan and Bashir Machina. The Apex Court fixed the judgment date after taking arguments from counsels for the APC and the Bashir Machina. Justice Santos Nweze, however, who presided over a 5-man panel of justices of the court, fixed the date on Wednesday. APC, which is rooting for Senate President Ahmed Lawan as its senatorial candidate, filed the appeal against the judgments of the Federal High Court and Court of Appeal, which held Bashir Machina as the party's candidate. Sarafa Yusuf, counsel to Bashir Machina, asked the Apex Court to dismiss the APC's appeal for being frivolous and baseless. Federal High Court in Kano has ordered for investigation, arrest and prosecution of All Progressives Congress APC chairman in the state, Abdullahi Abbas. The party chairman is accused of threat to life, disruption of peace and hate speeches in a suit filed by Mahmoud Lamido. The Kano indigene, through his counsel Bashir Yusuf, told the court that Abbas is in a phone call insinuated that he will kill the plaintiff. The trial judge, Justice S.A. Amobeda, adjourned to the 16th of February to monitor compliance. NNPP campaign spokesperson in the state, Sanusi Bature, said that the judgment vindicated their position that the Commissioner of Police should arrest and prosecute the APC leader for alleged violence, intimidation and threat. And now on security matters, troops of multinational joint task force have killed dozens of terrorists and captured more than 40 in recent operations in the Lake Chad Basin. The Chief of Military Public Information for MNJTF, Lieutenant Colonel Kamaruddin Adegoke, made this known in a statement on Wednesday in N'Djamena, Chad. Adegoke said in Sector 1, Cameroon, the troops conducted ambush operations on January 22nd and 23rd in the general area of Kolofata, Kirawa captured 1 terrorist alive and recovered significant quantity of assorted foodstuff. In Sector 2, Chad, he said that the troops had dominated the maritime domain from Bagalam, Kongolam to Kolafua and denied the terrorists freedom of operation. Adegoke also said that troops of Sector 3, Nigeria, had on January 18 and January 23rd intercepted a Boko Haram logistics supplier in Baga in possession of motorcycle spare parts. According to him, the well-conducted Special Forces operation led to the destruction of terrorist camp, neutralization of over a dozen terrorists, destruction of their equipment, and capture of 2 high-value target criminals. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has arrested 19 persons in connection with oil bunkering and economic sabotage in Kano State. Leading journalist to the site where the suspected illegal activities took place, Commandant of the Corps in the state, Adamu Idris, said 3 illegal oil dump sites have been sealed off. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin was at the sites of the suspected economic sabotage and now reports.
For quite some time now, resident in Hotoro area of Kano metropolis seems to have been living on what appeared to be a time bomb without knowing.
They have succeeded in discovering 3 illegal oil dumps, which is hazardous to the community.
According to NSCDC, these trucks contain thousands of liters of AGO and premium motor spirit, which are being hoarded here, and which is now part of what is creating an artificial scarcity of the product.
These illegal oil dumps are discovered in 3 areas located at Hotoro quarters. One of the areas is Hotoro Samir Mashaya, where a illegal oil dump is discovered by the Special Intelligence Courts.
The NSCDC has also uncovered another 10 trucks of PMS and AGO, small vans, calibrated rubber containers and drums, and 30 other exhibits across 3 major illegal oil dump sites in Kano.
A lot of exhibits were discovered, ranging from the oil dump itself, other trucks laden with fuel, and more importantly, the suspects. 19 suspects were apprehended, and right now they are in our custody, which will be investigated and be prosecuted.
Although several other suspects are being trailed by operatives of the Corps, the NSCDC is advising members of the public to report any suspicious activities to avoid incidences of fire outbreak and other related economic crimes across the state. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Gunmen in the early hours of Wednesday killed a 16-year-old boy when they attacked a police station and residential buildings in Nobi, Idemili South local government area of Anambra State. The gunmen also reportedly inflicted gun wounds on a 15-year-old girl. They were also said to have bombed the Independent National Electoral Commission office in Ojoto in the same local government area. A source said that the hoodlums bombed the commission's headquarters in the area using an improvised explosive device. The State Police Command spokesperson, Tochukwu Ikega, said that the attack occurred at about 1:45 a.m. on Wednesday, adding that the attackers came in large number in 4 Toyota Sienna vehicles. He said in a statement that the command has made heavy deployment of security personnel around the state to forestall further occurrence of such incidents. The Northwest Regional Command of the Mano War Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to assist in containing the security challenges facing the region. This is part of resolutions of the organization at the end of a 5-day training for its members on citizenship and leadership at Batagarawa local government area in Katsina State. Abdullahi Hamadi has the details.
MAN Owo Nigeria was established in 2009 with the aim of promoting the ideals of citizenship and leadership among Nigerian youth. The organization has been assisting in the maintenance of law and order besides participating in various community development programs. The training was organized to build the capacity of members in the Northwest region to confront the contemporary security challenges facing the region.
You have passed through thick and thin of this camp, hence you are well groomed and ready for the master's use. I therefore call for all the participants to see this and consider this training as yet another challenge and clarion call to national duty.
The regional commander of MAN Owo said the training has succeeded in inculcating in its members discipline, patriotism, productivity, and selfless service towards nation building. The regional leadership of the organization says it is ready to complement the efforts of security agencies in the fight against insecurity bedeviling the Northwest region.
We also educate and train our fellow citizens on the need to unity and peaceful coexistence in our beloved country, Nigeria. To state commanders, you should be ready to all trainings to pay any price, meet any hardship, and bear any burden to ensure that we succeed our aims and objectives.
Observers say MAN Owo can play a significant role in assisting conventional security agencies in tackling the menace of insecurity. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Going back to our earlier report, Minister of Information Lai Mohammed says government is working to ensure free and fair elections next month, insisting that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to also providing a level playing field for all candidates in the contest for political offices. The minister spoke on Wednesday at the State House in Abuja when responding to questions from correspondents after a meeting of the Federal Executive Council. Kehinde Amodu has more.
I believe that there are elements in the villa that want us to lose the elections because they didn't get their way.
Claims by the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, that certain people inside the presidential villa are working against the chances of the All Progressives Congress on the ballot has been trending. The Kaduna State governor had insinuated on national television that the recent policies of the federal government, especially the Naira redesign, cash withdrawal limit, and the resurfacing of queues at petrol stations are targeted at working against APC's presidential election. The weight of those accusations elicited a response from government just a few hours after they went on air.
The most important person to me is Mr. President. And I think he has shown by words and by deed that he is committed to a free, fair, and credible election. And fair, free, and credible election actually means not favoring anybody or disadvantaging anybody. Now, and everywhere he goes, he makes that very clear. Even as recently as Friday, when he was in Daura, he said the same thing. So if there's anybody who's working against any candidate, we don't know officially.
There's also a response for Transparency International and its latest Corruption Perception Index, which was released on Tuesday. In the latest index release, TI noted that despite scoring 24 out of 100 points, Nigeria moved to 150th position out of 180 countries assessed in the 2022 ranking. But government insists it's not fighting corruption to impress Transparency International.
I can assure you that we do not, as a government, know what template TI is using. But whatever template they are using is clearly oblivious of what this administration is doing to fight corruption. Corruption fighting is not just by how many people have you arrested, how many people have you tried, how many people have you convicted. Of course, that even in that respect, we have a very impressive record. Is it EFCC? Is it ICPC?
The latest ranking from TI comes despite repeated pledges by the Buhari administration to fight graft. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News. Now back to the cash crunch. Traders and business operators in the country are lamenting the effects of the scarcity of the new Naira notes introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria on their businesses. Our crew, who spoke with some of the traders and business operators in Lagos, brings us more in this report.
Bitterness, anguish and disappointment are a few of the words to describe the pain faced by business owners owing to the scarcity of the new Naira notes. The central bank, which redesigned the 1,000, 500 and 200 Naira notes last year, said the old notes will be phased out on January 31st. However, the Apex Bank was forced to announce a 10-day extension as a result of protests and complaints from customers. Visiting Ogba area of Lagos State, traders and operators of POS points lament low circulation of the new Naira notes as it affects business transactions with their customers, as some of them who spoke to Trust TV air their views on the challenges they face in getting the new Naira notes for their customers.
I have at least two or three accounts. I went to bank to go and collect money, to go and withdraw my money that is inside bank. I could not withdraw. ATM, they did not give us money. Inside bank, they did not give us. What they even asked me, they will give me. They said they will give me just 1,000 naira, 20 naira.
As POS agents, I don't see money to withdraw from bank. Both inside the counter, they say that there's no money in the bank, and at the ATM machine, no money. So I do go to people that sells, like they have provision shop, to get money from them. Today I get 50,000 naira from them, and I transfer 52,000 naira, and they give me 50,000 naira. Somebody want to withdraw 5,000 naira, I charge them 200 naira.
Also speaking, some transporters air their views on the matter.
New Naira note and suffering for fuel also. There's no fuel, there's no new Naira note, it's not circulated anywhere. I mean, people are suffering. People are suffering. Including me, I know what I'm passing through. It's not easy. It's not an easy task. The old Naira note is more than the new Naira note. So the government they have given time. The time that they give, I mean, on the 10, it's not enough.
If you have problem, maybe as a businessman or a businesswoman, you want to withdraw 200,000, we can't give you because we do not have. Bank are not giving any money. There is no money in the bank. There is no old money in the bank. There is no new money in the bank.
However, some citizens in the country are of the opinion that the new Naira notes should be well circulated before phasing out of the old ones.
Sultan of Sokoto Saad Abubakar III, PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, and other prominent northern leaders and emirs were among hundreds of mourners that witnessed funeral rites for late Emir of Dutse, Nuhu Sunusi. The burial prayer took place at Dutse Eid Prayer Ground because of large number of mourners that trooped into the Jigawa state capital from within and outside the state. The report.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, Governor of Jigawa State Badaro Abubakar, APC presidential running mate Senator Kashim Shettima, and prominent emirs attended the funeral prayer. Many described the late emir as a father to all because of his kindness and support to his people. They also prayed that Allah forgives his shortcomings and looks after his children and the family he left behind.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Jigawa State Governor Badr Abubakar said the state and Nigeria lost a kind-hearted personality who dedicated his life to supporting and addressing problems in the state. Some mourners paid glowing tributes, saying the emir will be greatly missed. Late Nuhu Sanusi was appointed first-class emir in 1991 when Jigawa State was excised from the old Kano State. He died in an Abuja hospital on Tuesday, and his remains were buried in the palace graveyard.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at bitter experience over unfulfilled electoral promises. Details of this and more after the break.
Nigeria na we country, APC na the party, na one man be a choice.
At last, the elections are here. Let's turn out en masse on election day and vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria for a renewed hope and a better Nigeria. Vote APC, the party that shows a broom.
Jama'a ga wata muhimmiyar sanarwa, hukumar raya birnin tarayya Abuja da haɗin gwiwar dukkanin harɗawa shugabannin rigage na Fulani da ƙungiyar Miyatta Allah reshen birnin tarayya Abuja dukkaninsu suna bayyana damuwarsu akan yadda waɗansu mutane suke sakin shanu suna kiwo sakaka a birnin tarayya Abuja. Don haka hukumar raya birnin tarayya Abuja da ta kare muhalli ta birnin suna sanar da dukkanin al'umma tare da gargaɗi akan cewa an hana kiwo na shanu da sauran dabbobi da tsuntsaye a cikin birnin domin suna haddasa bata muhalli da kuma cunkoson ababen hawa a cikin wannan birni. Saboda haka duk wanda aka samu ya karya wannan doka zai fuskanci hukunci, kasancewar akwai gurin da hukumar raya birnin tarayya Abuja ta ware domin kiwo a cikin su. Don haka tabbatar ka bi doka ka kuma haɗa hannu da hukumar raya birnin tarayya Abuja domin tabbatar da tsaftar wannan birni. Wannan sako ne daga hukumar tsaftace muhalli ta birnin tarayya Abuja.
Welcome back from that break. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. Naira scarcity biting harder on Nigerians. Small business owners cry out. Federal government says President Buhari not fighting Bola Tinubu, replies Transparency International on Corruption Perception Index. Now, moving on, the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, has advised Nigerians to vote for candidates with capacity and the requisite knowledge to reposition the nation on the path of prosperity. The former Kano State governor spoke in Ibadan at a stakeholders forum where he also kicked against politics of ethnicity, religion and diversionary tendencies. Kwankwaso, who was honoring the invite of organizers of the Southwest Development Stakeholders Forum for presidential candidates, seized the opportunity to reel out his agenda for the Nigerian masses of Southwest extraction. The NNPP presidential candidate, who promised to address critical sectors of the nation, vows to replicate his achievements as governor of Kano State at the center if given the opportunity to serve.
So we are going to handle the issue of security with the support of the military and other security agents in this country. So also education. I mentioned what we have done in Kano, and that's exactly what we want to do with a lot of improvements based on our practical experiences. And the biggest problem leaders are having is that they always stay in their comfort zone. And that's why when we say the roads are bad, they say, oh, they are opponents. When we say the economy is very bad, they will call us all sorts of names.
The Southwest. The Southwest gives Nigeria over 50% of its GDP. Requires whoever wants to be our president must talk to us. And that is why we have brought you here, so that you can talk to the people of the Southwest. As our secretary has said, this is from our purpose. The association does not belong to any political party. We are not sponsoring anyone, and we are not here to humiliate anyone.
Under a country called Nigeria. But what we've been trying to do is to ensure that we say, oh, united country, so everything must be uniform. And unity and uniformity are totally different things.
Prospective voters in Kanwa village of Madobi local government area of Kano State say politicians have over the years failed to fulfill promises made to them prior to the elections. Speaking ahead of the Kano State governorship election debate organized by Media Trust Group, community members said that despite many promises, they are still struggling with social and economic problems. Trust TV correspondent Idris Debrin visits Kanwa to hear what the people want candidate to do for them this time around.
On March 2023, voters in Nigeria's economic powerhouse will head to the polls to elect their new governor. But Kano State faces some of the same old problems, creating jobs and feeding its poor, as well as the more recent and more disturbing challenge, economic instability. In the midst of all this, however, the state political elites enjoys making promises.
The commitment of myself, my supporters, and my political party, the NNPP, towards free, fair, and credible election.
The most challenging thing for Nigeria and for Kano is poverty and illiteracy. It's not the issue of availability of funds or economic challenge. Yes, there are challenges of economy all over the world.
We put Kano past, beyond our aspiration, beyond our personal interest, beyond everything. We have been unfortunately deficient in so many requirements of our people, be it health, be it education.
But have these politicians been keeping to their promises? Well, to find some answers, I have left the city to a village few kilometers away from the metropolis. This is Kanwa, a community in Madobi government area of Kano State. Over the years, the people here have been listening to politicians as they promise to make life better for them. Unfortunately, the people are still struggling with social and economic hardship.
Amma alƙawarurruka duk ba a cika ba. Tsakani da Allah, amma alƙawari za a ba mu taki, za a ba mu injina, kuma duk alƙawarin har yanzu dai muna zuba ido babu wannan muka samu.
Sun yi mana alƙawarurruka kamar titi. Ba a cika mana alƙawarin ba, gaskiya yanzu babban matsalar mu a garin nan titi. Dan duk hanyoyin da za su haɗa garin nan muna da hanyoyi guda uku wanda in ka to daga ban shekara za ka shigo garin Kanwa. Idan ka shigo daga Kwankwaso za ka shigo garin Kanwa. Sannan ka shigo daga nan lambar Mariya za ka shigo garin Kanwa. To duk hanyoyin mu lalatattu ne gaba ɗaya wayannan hanyoyi. To babban matsalar mu titi.
This is Kanwa Primary School in one hand, and on the other side is Government Junior Secondary School Kanwa. Unfortunately, there are no guards or gates to protect it, not even a sign to mark it. And the classroom has been turned to gambling center and a smoking joint.
Karancin malamai a bangaren primary school, sannan kuma muna da junior secondary school, ita ma kwata-kwata malaman ta su guda uku ba. Kuma junior secondary school din nan 2 section ne, akwai junior section, akwai secondary senior section. Amma kwata-kwata malaman guda uku ne. Malamin Hausa, malamin English da kuma malamin Agric Science, daga wannan babu wasu. Sannan a nan primary school idan ka duba ga kun san yawancin primary school duk an yi musu fencing, amma mu tsawon mulkin da aka yi za ga babu fencing ko daya. Primary mu kuma guda biyu ce, akwai Kanwa Gabas, akwai Kanwa Yamma, amma babu wacce aka yi wa katanga. Hatta malaman da suke nan primary school na Kanwa Gabas ita ce Central Primary School. Kwata-kwata malaman su shida ne. Kuma akalla kowanne aji muna da ɗalibai akalla sama da 80.
This reservoir is the main source of water in Kanwa, but it's no longer working. Now the community has to rely on the only available borehole. Others wash and drink from this lake, which is also used for irrigation farming.
Ruwan sha. Muna amfani da ruwan famfo tun farkon damuna famfo mai lallace. Famfon namu da lallace har a yanzu din nan, tun a yanzu kafin bazara ta yi. Rijiyoyin mu da suka kare a yanzu. Muna cikin matsala ta ruwa a yanzu. Babban matsalar mu dama titi da ruwan sha, wa'annan sune manyan matsalolin mu guda biyu a Kanwa.
More disturbing, the residents of Kanwa depend on only one ill-equipped dispensary clinic, which has only one healthcare attendant. Their women say they have to travel 4 kilometers to Kwankwaso town in order to access antenatal care.
Gaskiya ba mu da abubuwan da in ka zo haihuwa za a ce za a kula da kai a nan saboda ba mu samu ba sai dai a ɗauke ka wani wuri mai nisa. Na da in ka samu matsala dai haka za a kaka nan asibitin a kula da kai gaskiya. Amma bangaren haihuwa ne ba a da kayan haihuwa a nan da za a kula da mu. Gaskiya sai an kai mu wani garin ana gangara da mu ne wajen kwankwaso kuma hanyar gaskiya ba ta da kyau muna shan wahala.
Although there are challenges, political promise is unfulfilled. Voters in Kanwa say they will all go to the polls come February 25th, hopeful that one day there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, violence and political thuggery, especially involving youth during and after elections, have been a common phenomenon since the return of democracy in Nigeria. This and other issues were on the front burner of discussions during a one-day dialogue organized by the NOA in collaboration with the development partners. Noel Samson reports.
With only 24 days to the nation's 2023 general elections, stakeholders are determined to foster smooth and peaceful elections that would usher in credible leaders. It is against this backdrop that NOA, in collaboration with development partners, organized a dialogue with the theme, Nigeria's 2023 elections, fostering youth action for peace, in a bid to sensitize the youth against electoral violence.
So yes, there are needs for youth to embrace peace and see how to ensure that the election is free. So we don't need to engage in violence, and we just need to do as much as possible to make sure that the election is peaceful.
We also know how they have most youth, especially in like local communities, have been engaged in thuggery and electoral violence and all of that. And so this program is really to portray the need for youths, to be more educated.
I've learned that peace is the way forward if we really want to have a credible and a violence-free election. Yeah, that's what I learned.
The youth should, as much as possible, remain steadfast, remain vigilant, know that at the end of the day, no one will be a winner when this election is not conducted in the way and manner that we have all been prepared for it.
Create awareness, especially to the youths, to be able to understand and to know what they are supposed to do. Election is coming. They should not allow themselves to be used by some other people in the wrong way.
According to the new released registered voters list by INEC, youths have largest percentage of registered voters. Therefore, stakeholders called on them to stir off violence, but instead channel their energy in exercising the franchise to enthrone a promising administration. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday commissioned many projects in Kano State, but the horn gifted to the visiting president by Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, attracted more than attention. The gesture creates curiosity among residents on what informed the choice of the gift. An expert on Kano Palace protocols and etiquette, Nasru Wada Khalil, explains that the gift is an expensive treasure meant for a very esteemed guest.
That is actually the answer. It's not the horn given to Mr. President, but rather what the horn was carrying, the content inside. It's just a package. As you know, it's a tradition. In all the palaces, there must be a package upon which things are put in. That is what we call kenkandi. Kenkandi is a package where you put clothes. This al-kebba you see is normally meant to carry things of the emir, apart from wearing it. Any stuff of the emir is normally put in al-kebba. You know, Kano Palace is a Fulani dynasty that are ruling the palace. So, and this is a Fulani form of gift. It is a plain gown, babariga, inside the horn. And it is normally made from the Fulani area, Mubi, Adamawa, up to Cameroon.
Time now for us to take a short break. The news hour continues after the break. Join us again.
Ba a iya sutura
da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets, ko kuma ku wadata falon ku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshin ku kuwa za ku iya saka manya-manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture, mun zagaye ko'ina.
Media Trust Group, in collaboration with the Center for Democracy and Development, presents the 2023 Kano gubernatorial debate, featuring candidates of 4 major political parties: Nasir Yusuf Gawuna of the APC, Bashir Ishaq Bashir of the Labour Party, Abba Kabir Yusuf of the NMPP, and Muhammad Abacha of the PDP. Date: Saturday, 4th February 2023. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: Bayer University Kano New Site. The event is strictly by invitation and no political supporters are expected at the venue.
I will be there. I will be there.
I will be there. Media partners: Express Radio 90.3 FM, Nasara Radio 98.5 FM, Freedom Radio, and ARTV Kano. The debate will be broadcast live on Trust TV and other channels across the country.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Time for us to take a look at business updates presented by Chiamaka Mwafo.
The volume of imported containerized goods brought into Nigerian seaports has grown by 13.10% in 5 years to 1,09,312 20 food equivalent units TEUs in the past 5 years of 2017 to 2021. According to the port statistics of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, containerized imports which stood at 806,219 TEUs in 2017, 831,314 TEUs in 2018. Similarly, the NPA port statistics show that the export of containerized goods and MTs also grew by 111.13% to 1,020,511 TEUs in 5 years. The breakdown also shows that the containerized export, which stood at 483,357 TEUs in 2017, declined massively by 64.90% to 169,653 TEUs in 2018. The volume further declined by 17.41% to 140,116 TEUs in 2019, grew by 29.47% to 181,406 TEUs in 2020, and by 462% to 1,020,511 TEUs in 2021. The Nigerian exchange closed positive amidst buying interest in sellouts as bulls-dominated proceedings, driving up the broad market. The all-share index ASI appreciated by 0.49% to close at 53,499.68 points. In the same vein, market capitalization grew by 142 billion naira to close at 29.139 trillion naira, while the year-to-date return settled at 3.69%. The stock market has advanced by 1,904.02 basis points since the start of the year. Market bread closed flat as Seplat led 20 gainers and 20 losers, topped by Guinness at the end of Wednesday's session. On aggregate, 100.3 million volume of units valued at 5.52 billion naira were traded in 3,716 deals. And that's it on Business News. I am Chiamaka Mwafo.
Now, away from Nigeria, Somalia is hosting a summit of leaders from several neighboring countries in the Horn of Africa to discuss the fight against Al-Shabaab as a wide-ranging offensive against the armed group gathers pace. The meeting in the capital, Mogadishu, drew leaders from 3 brotherly neighboring countries, the Somali president said, posting pictures of the arrival of Kenya's William Ruto, Djibouti Ismail Omar, and Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Somali leader Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and his counterparts are due to discuss a coordinated military offensive against the Al-Qaeda-linked group, which has been waging a fight in the Horn of Africa nation for more than 15 years. Now to take a look at sports updates presented by Adeni Ajishafe.
Ilyasu Sport Beach Soccer Club has emerged as champions of 2022-2023 Kebbi Beach Soccer League. The team had earlier won the Super 4 with 8 points ahead of Marshall Academy Beach Soccer Club with 6 points. Magatakada Beach Soccer Club with 3 points and Dalatu Talgo Beach Soccer Club that had no point. Teams that had qualified for the season-ending KBSL Super 4 finals at the end of the regular season were Ilyasu Sport Beach Soccer Club of Badaria, Magatakada Beach Soccer Club of Rafin Atiku, Marshall Academy Beach Soccer Club of Jega, and Dalatu Cargo Beach Soccer Club of Cargo local government that qualified. 10 teams grouped into 2. Group of 5 teams started the journey through the regular season to compete for the title of 2022-2023 Kebbi Beach Soccer League. Ilayaro of Dalatu Cargo Beach Soccer Club won the Rising Star and Top Goal Scorer award with 16 goals, while his team also took home the Fair Play award. Nuhu Aiki of Marshall Academy Beach Soccer Club, goalkeeper, won the Best Goalkeeper, as Usman Mohammed of Ilyasu Sport Beach Soccer Club won the Most Valuable Player, MVP of the league. And in football, World Football Governing Body FIFA has appointed Nigerian football agent Michael Oshodeke as a member of the Football Agent Working Group, FAWG. The appointment was confirmed in the letter dated January 31st, 2023, and signed by the Chief Legal and Compliance Officer of the Apex Football Ruling Body, Emilio Garcia. The letter explained that FAWG will play a key role in issues relating to affairs of football agents across the world. The group will also be part of possible future amendments or changes to the FIFA football agent regulations. The appointment came after FIFA officially incorporated and gave full recognition to the African Football Agents Association, AFAA. Michael Oshodeke is the president of the African Football Agents Association, the body overseeing the affairs of football agents in the continent. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilia. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.